Today we're going to be looking at division, and here I'm going to show you the two division strategies that I think are the friendliest and lead students to be most successful. So we have traditional on the left, and I'll be working through box method and explaining just how similar it is to traditional and the benefits to choosing to use box method. So we start with the question 317 divided by 5. So we just look at our 5. Does 5 go into 3? No. And then does it go into 31? We know that 5 times 6 is 30. We subtract, we get 1. And then traditional, what we do is we just bring our next number down. So now it's 17. So we look, does 5 go into 17? We could be looking at a multiplication chart, counting in our heads, or just using our knowledge of facts. I know 5, 10, 15. So 3 times gives me 15. Once I subtract, there's 2 left over. So the answer is going to be 63, remainder 2. If I move over here to the box method, you're going to notice that we're doing the same steps with just one key difference. Does 5 go into 3? We know that it doesn't, so we can just slide that 3 over. Now we have 31. 5 goes into 31 6 times. 6 times 5 is 30. We subtract, we get 1. And here's where you find your only difference. Now I will make kind of a joke that before the 1 self-destructs, we need to quick put it up with a 7, and then we can cross that out. But basically, instead of bringing the 7 down here as we did in traditional, we just brought the 1 up with a 7. This helps with neatness, and I found that students can be pretty successful with this strategy here. So now we're right back to where we were. 5 goes into 17 3 times. 3 times 5 is 15. We subtract and we get 2. And this box, and only this box, will be our remainder. So we put our remainder 2. So you can see there is quite a similarity between traditional and box method. Let me show you some other questions. Next up, we have 777 divided by 2. I'll actually start with the box method first on this one. And 2 goes into 7. We know 2 times 3 is 6. We subtract and we get 1. And we move that 1 up to the 7. We cross it out down here. So now we're looking at does 2, or how many times does 2 go into 17? I work through my math facts and I know that 2 times 8 is 16. I subtract, I get 1 left. Again, bring that 1 up. And 2 goes into 17 again. We know it's 8 times. Subtract is 16. 1 left over. And this bottom right box is our remainder box. So it looks like our answer is 388, remainder 1. Now doing traditional, I'll go ahead and work through that. 2 goes into 7 3 times. We subtract our 6. Just as we would, we get 1. We bring that 7 down. 2 goes into 17 8 times. We get 17 minus 16 is 1. Bring that 7 down. And we get 2 goes into 17 8 more times. For a remainder of 1. So either way we do it, we get the quotient of 388, remainder 1. Let's take a look at another one. For our final problem here, I'll show you a work through where box method will help catch mistakes that can be made in traditional. So let's go ahead and work through these. I know that 4 goes into 8 2 times. 2 times 4 is 8 exactly. So we bring down the 1. And at this point, I do tend to see some students realize, well, 4 doesn't go into 1, and occasionally they forget that 0. But that's what we need to do. We need to put a 0 here. 4 times 0 is 0. We subtract, we get 1. We bring the 9 down. 4 goes into 19. 4, 8, 12, 16. So that would be 4 times for 16. We subtract and get 3. 204, remainder 3. Now by using the box method, it helps you not forget this 0 there in the middle. A lot of times on this question, I'll see students come up with the answer of 24 remainder 3, and they don't insert that 0 to hold the place value. Now for the last one here, I'm also going to show you box method and show you, well, I don't feel like drawing on the box method. So if you work on graph paper, you don't really need to draw and fill in the squares to create the box such as this. That's unnecessary if you use graph paper, so I'll just work through. So we know that 4 goes into 8 2 times. 2 times 4 is 8. We get 0. Then we know that 4, does it go into 1? No, it doesn't. So 4 times 0 is 0. We subtract, we get 1. And this will move up here to turn it into 19. We can cross this one out. And 4 goes into 19 4 times, just as we did this before. And we get 19 minus 16 is 3. And again, this here, the 3 in the bottom right is our remainder. And we get 204 remainder 3. So traditional and box method, it's pretty much the same thing. Again, box method and with the problems as they get larger, I found that neatness is one of the biggest issues with division, and box method, especially with graph paper, or as long as you hand draw your boxes large enough, tends to eliminate some of the neatness issues and allows students to be more successful. I hope this helps.